Hey, hi Atul. Thank you for joining us. You are the SVP and Head of Sales at Razorpay. You have 14 years of experience. You started your career with consulting and then you moved to fintech, with which you have been working with some of the leading companies of India like PayU, MobiKwik, and now that you are with Razorpay. Please help us understand what is this love for fintech that has kept you, in the sector for the last 5 years?
Well, Amit, just to let you know that, be it my consulting days, consulting days helped me gain a lot of breadth across all the industries. I worked with FMCG, worked with manufacturing, worked with the government sector, worked with telecom, worked in India, worked in Middle East. So every time, every client that you went to, you were trying to solve a fundamental problem, be it their scorecards, be it their reconciliation, be it their consolidation, and so on and so forth. When I first, entered into fintech around 5 years ago, so this was payments is a fundamental problem of money movement. In fact, not only payments, money movement is a fundamental problem that our country, in fact, the whole world has. Just to give you an idea, if we are a $2.5 trillion economy, and the money that changes hands every year is to the tune of $40 trillion, 15 times the GDP, and out of that, less than a trillion is done digitally. So for me, any money movement for which you need to go somewhere or which you need to sign or use a paper document is a non-digital thing, be it a check, be it a NEFT, RTGS. This is a fundamental problem, and the people making the payment, be it the people accepting the payment, be it the government of India, or be it the players like us who are in this sector. It's for the benefit of everyone that we go digital. And these new challenges that come up almost on a day-to-day basis is what keeps me excited.
Tell us what Razorpay is about.
I'll just tell you, maybe in one or two lines, everybody's heard of Razorpay. We are a leading fintech player, involved in end-to-end money flow, be it the inward movement of money, be it the outward movement of money, be it lending or anything. But the core DNA, that separates us from other players in this is that there are payment companies who are using technology. We are a tech company who's into payments. So tech is the backbone, technology is the backbone, and it's the DNA of our organization. And that helps us innovate faster than anyone else, and also helps us, adjust faster to any new change or anything new comes up. So any new innovation that you've seen in the last maybe couple of years or so, we've been the first who have brought it to the be UPI 2.0, be it UPI recurring, be it OTP and merchant page, and so on and so forth. And another thing that separates us, or which excites me more, is the fact that, whenever I am personally asked, who's your biggest competition? I won't name other companies, the ones you told that I worked with before. They are not my competition. They are actually our friends who are helping us go into digital world. Cash is our biggest competition. That is cash or offline payments. That is what we are contesting, and that is what we want to automate, and that is what we want to, bring under the purview of the digital payment. So this mindset difference and the focus on technology is one thing, are the two things that separate us.
As head of sales, what are your roles and responsibilities?
Okay, so my roles and responsibilities include, I own the P&L of sales, interacting with all the players in the ecosystem. That so I have made a few rules which are almost which I have made for myself, that I work for my CTC. People say CTC is cost to company. I disagree with that. If I'm a cost to company, why will the company keep me? I'm a benefit to the company. For me, CTC means my clients, my team, and my company. So I work for my clients, I work for my team, and I work for my company. So these are my three primary stakeholders with whom I'm involved day in, day out. And any issues they are facing, or any improvement that needs to be done to any of these, is something that keeps me busy the whole day. And then it is, when people say, where do you invest? I invest in PPF. PPF, not the public provident fund. For me, PPF means put people first. So from it's and at the end of the day, a company is all about a PPT, people process technology. Technology can be built or outsourced. Processes can be set. It's finally the people who define. And I work with a bunch of incredibly talented and almost unbelievably committed folks. Okay, that's who I work with. And the four P's of my job, that is my people, place, profile, and at the end of the day, package. That I tell everybody is perhaps the least important P of the job. Your people, your place, your profile should keep you so much so engaged, and that is what keeps me engaged the whole day. So on a typical work day, I mean, uh, in 12 to 14 hours, you'll see me on client calls for at least 3 to 4 hours with the sales folks for another 2 3 hours, and with other teams in the organization, be it the product or technology or operations or finance or solutions or banking for another 2 3 hours. That's how my day split will look like.
So who's your customer?
We are a B2B company, and today my client portfolio includes the leaders in almost every sector. Be it Ibibo Yatra, be it Zomato Swiggy, be it Airtel Hotstar, be it National Stock Exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange, be it ICICI Prudential, Aditya Birla, Book My Show, and then the list goes on. So these are all my customers or my clients. And since we are working across the ecosystem, I normally call ourselves the Sensex of the economy. So because uh, if today due to this COVID, sectors like travel, hospitality, etc. are down, there are other sectors, especially the BFSI sectors, who are doing decently well. People are now investing, they are now trading, people are buying insurances, and this is so there will be something. And also we also see this a mindset change when people have started now thinking about digital and contactless. Earlier people wanted us to look after check handling solutions or cash handling solutions. Now they want us to automate. So we have a solution, Smart Collect, which is automating NEFT and RTGS. We have a solution called ePOS where you can send a payment link from your phone. You don't need to have, if the customer is standing in front of you, you don't need to swipe the card. ePOS is electronic point of sale, where you can actually send a payment link to that, and the payment can be completed.
All right.
So these are the types of innovations that are happening, and this is what we are seeing a lot of pull from the
So
client.
would it be fair to say that your client profile is mostly enterprises? Do you also have solutions for retail?
We have SME clients also, but it's all online. So we don't have a physical solution. But SMEs can actually, we have a very big product suite for the SMEs also, and for the enterprises also. We are replacing that point of sales with an ePOS. That's what I told you.
Okay. And how do you kind of make a difference in enterprise sales?
This is where my consulting background has been, because consulting, I was working in a new industry almost in every project. Okay, so I got a good hang of how to understand or how to empathize with my clients, and how to understand what their pain point is, what their problem is, and then you need to come back and get that thing. So it's the old value principle that we studied in college. Figure out what value the client needs, build that value, deliver that, communicate that you are building that value, and finally deliver that value to the client.
Razorpay has got some really amazing culture, both external and internal. But still, fintech is a very fast-paced industry. So,
Yes.
what are your challenges in terms of retaining talent?
That is one thing that we, as I said, investing in PPF or putting people first. That is something that we do day in, day out. So just to give you an example, when other companies are talking of layoffs and salary cuts, Razorpay actually announced at its first virtual all hands that we are not letting off any razor.
Okay.
So for the next 1 year, that we had a virtual all hands. We normally used to have a physical all hands, but we couldn't do it. Right now, we had a virtual all hands, and the first thing that Harshil, our CEO, announced was that we are not letting off any razor for the next 1 year at least. Okay, and we have a sufficient runway in terms of sustaining our business, because we are not into B2C, so our burn rate is not very high. And given with that the financial prudence and the vision that the leadership has, so what we did was we actually did appraisals. Many companies are actually surprised that you could do appraisal at this time also. And another thing that the guys with the leadership decided not to take any hike. And because of that money distribution was more at the middle management and the junior management folks. And this was a very welcome gesture. Everybody appreciated that this is how Razorpay feels for me. So just think of it in these hours if you are actually getting a hike and if you are meaningfully engaged also. So coming back to my 4 P's of a job, people, place, profile, package. People, we are undoubtedly the best folks around. And I'm not bragging. I'm not saying this because I'm a part of it. Even if I had been outside, I would have said the same thing. So place doesn't matter in social distancing. Profile is if you are meaningfully engaged, and package is finally when you actually get that increment that actually gives a kick to you, and that is how you retain your talent, and that is how you keep them meaningfully engaged. Because after a while, it's about the motivation, it's about the value that you are bringing to the table that keeps people excited.
So, what kind of skills or what kind of benchmarks do you set for talent coming in into your sales team?
Not easy to get into Razorpay, but it's almost impossible to get out of Razorpay because once you are here, then you don't want to go anywhere else. So, especially, and then we set the bar very high in terms of hiring folks. So whenever I am looking for someone, I first look at what is the determination and what's the dedication of that person towards the job that he or she is being interviewed for. Because I strongly feel that talent is neither necessarily not sufficient for excellence. So if you remember, Kambli and Tendulkar used to play almost at the same time. Schoolmates, started school cricket at the same time. I Even today I feel I love Tendulkar. Everybody does. So, but I still feel that Kambli was more talented than Tendulkar. But Kambli did not have that. He could not carry that success. He could not carry that burden. And the way he broke down in the '96 semi-finals. After that, he never came back. So I always see that if you have determination, dedication, and if you have perseverance, and if you are committed to what you are doing. So these are the things that I look for. I mean, talent can be developed, and also I look at what of an ownership do you bring to the table. I always say, there are multiple forums where I'm asked, "Sir, should I start up my own business?" I say all of us don't need to be entrepreneurs. Okay, we can be successful entrepreneurs also. If you are 0.1% of $1 billion company, you are a millionaire. It's just about having that sense of, the skin in the game, that sense of ownership, that stake. And also, I look at people who experiment and who believe, if you think of McDonald's selling aloo tikki burger and Domino's selling paneer tikka pizza. I mean, aloo tikki, at the end of the day, burger is an aloo tikki, okay, only. Yeah. So when McDonald's named it, it became their biggest selling pizza. Burger. Domino's paneer tikka pizza is the biggest selling pizza. That is how they could experiment and sell the product. And whenever I see somebody willing to experiment with perseverance, commitment, and dedication, that is what I look for in a sales guy.
Okay. So very nicely put. I think for an innovative company like Razorpay, all these traits are very important for anybody coming in. And if I were to ask you, Atul, if you were to hire for your own position, what would be the 2-3 questions that you would ask the candidate? What's the top of the list questions? Because there's a certain culture, but at your position, you're probably setting the culture. And so it will be an interesting perspective.
So I actually feel that, when you are hiring somebody in the leadership role, and leading is not the same as being a leader. Being a leader means that you're the rank or the seniority, or because you navigated the internal politics. Okay, that's how you become a leader. But leading means people are following you or working with you because they want to work with you, not because they have to work or because they're paid to work with you. So when I'm hiring a leader, I see how much his team, his or her team that has been with him or her, how much are they invested with him or her? Because I feel that in team actually means together everyone achieves more. So and this is what I see, that greatness is not what you are yourself. Greatness is how much you have helped others to become what they are. And your people will like being managed or like working with you as long as you are someone from they can learn something. As long as you are as long as you are dependable and not dependent on them. So if your people can depend on you, if you become dependable, that is when you feel. And another thing is that I love, working or, hiring for my role or any role or whatever it is. I love people who are living in the present and looking at the present. I always say yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery. Live in the present and prepare for the future. I just watched a series, the test with Australian cricket team resurgence. In this, Adam Gilchrist came and said, if you play the next ball like this is the most important delivery in my life, everything will be okay. और as I put it, जिनका सब कुछ फ्यूचर टेंस में होता है उनका प्रेजेंट बहुत टेंस पे होता है.
Okay, interesting. Thank you so much. So one last question. Being at the forefront of technology, innovation, and having worked with 3 major companies, what is the future of fintech in India?
Well, if you ask me the future of fintech is somebody who can provide a one-stop complete solution. So I look at a fintech ecosystem in terms of four compartments. Okay? The first compartment consists of all the technology providers, like technology means all the ecosystem providers. That includes the banks, that includes the schemes like Visa, Master, American Express, Master, Maestro, etc. UPI, NPCI. So this is the first bucket. The second bucket consists of the merchants. Second bucket consists of players like us, Razorpay. Okay? The third bucket consists of the merchants or the clients, the customers that I spoke about. The fourth bucket consists of the people making the payments, people like you and me who actually go to a website and have to make payments, or to whom payments are to be disbursed, or who have to borrow money, or who have to lend money. So if in these 4 compartments, if every player can think of providing the best to the forward one and interacting just with his previous company, with previous bucket. For example, in Razorpay, we tell our merchants that you just need to interact with Razorpay. Razorpay will interact with Visa, MasterCard, all the banks, NPCI, etc., and provide you all the services. And as a merchant, you just need to focus on your customers, because that is something that is your core competency. That is something which you bring to the table. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to make sure that my merchants or my clients do not have to worry about what's the next innovation that Visa, MasterCard, or NPCI or the banks are doing, because that is what we will handle. We'll provide a one-stop shop to them, and so that it's ease of integration and the best integration that we offer, and so that they can just focus on the forward bucket that is their customer.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for so many useful insights into your role and into the industry. It has been wonderful talking to you, Atul.